Hi, good day. So, for our lesson, we will be dealing with comets, asteroids, and meteorites. For our objective, we will be comparing and contrasting the comets, meteors, and asteroids. Okay, let me proceed. So, NEO alert. When we say NEO, it means near Earth objects. That's why it is called NEO. So, an asteroid named Asteroid 2012 DA14 is a small near-Earth object, or NEO, approximately 150 feet or 45 meters in diameter. So, the size of its whole body is about 45 meters. And on February 15, 2013, that asteroid will pass by our planet at a remarkably close distance, but the asteroid's path is understood well enough that there is no chance of a collision with the Earth. So during the time, February 15, 2013 to be exact, that was the time that the asteroid 2012 DA14 passed our planet at an almost close distance. So that time, there is no evidence of collision to our planet. And in the morning of the same day, another asteroid entered the Earth's atmosphere and exploded over the lake Chebarkul in Russia, which hurted or gave casualties to 1,000 people in the process. So that is why, even though asteroids are magnificent to watch or very what do you call this, beautiful to see, it could possibly hurt the area to which it can land. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now let us distinguish or let us see the difference between comets and asteroids. As you can see, when we say the word comets are icy bodies or fragments. So, fragments sila ng mga na dating nabuong stars, nabuong planeta, pero not totally, they are submerged into one piece. What happened is that during collision, noong nabubuo si Earth, ang ating planeta, ang nangyari is nagkaroon ng disintegration. When we say disintegration, this is the process na kung saan yung supposedly isang planeta is nagkaroon ng collision with another planet. Therefore, once there is collision, what would happen? Magliliparan ngayon yung mga bato and hindi mabubuo yung ating planeta. So, therefore, it could turn into comets or asteroids. Now, when we say asteroids are those of the rocky fragments. So, in comparison with comets are icy, whereas asteroids are rocky ones. Okay? They are the rocky ones. Now, both of them, comets and asteroids, are remnants. When we say remnants, mga tira-tira. Okay? Mga natira saan? During the formation of the entire solar system that is about 4.6 billion years ago. Okay. At the moment, as you can see, I am wearing this NASA. So, there is a logo of NASA there, and I have here my shirt wherein it has the logo of NASA also. Okay, let us continue. Okay, so in this table, as you can see, there is the comparison of the characteristics of comets and asteroids. Let us see if there is any similarities. Let us see if there are many comparisons or differences between the two. So first, characteristics of our two subjects, comet and asteroid: origin, the Kuiper belt, and the Oort cloud. Which means to say, when we say the word origin, kung saan sila nagmumula. So comets could somehow came or originate from the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. Whereas in the asteroids can originate or can form or could be found on the main asteroid belt. So the main asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, let's proceed. When we talk about shape When we say shape, it is either its formation, okay? The shape of a comet is varied or irregular, as well as for the asteroid. There is no definite shape for each of them, okay? They could vary from a small circle, an irregular shape or size. It could happen. Now, what is the size range of the comets and asteroid in terms of diameter or in terms of kilometer? So we have for the comets, that is 1 to 10 or about a size of a nucleus. When we say a nucleus, it is relatively micro in size. When we say micro, too small to be seen by the naked eye. It could range from that. Whereas when we say for the asteroid, that is 1 to 100 plus, meaning to say it is a lot greater in size and in diameter than of the comet. Okay? And then, what about their chemical composition? Let us distinguish. The chemical composition of comets, they are icy. So, a while ago, we have defined that comets are icy bodies. Icy. Meaning to say, if they are made of icy, they are icy bodies, meaning they are made up of ice or frozen water. So, nonetheless, not only the ice, frozen gases are also evident on the comet. Meaning to say, we have ammonia, we have methane, we have carbon dioxide, and other organic compounds, which means to say they contain carbon. Okay? Carbon is one of the fundamental elements that made up or composed of our solar system. That is why we human beings and all the other living things here on Earth are carbon dependent. Okay, remember that. Then, when we say asteroids, they are made up of silicates. Silicates, meaning to say it has the presence of silicon as its element. Okay? And oxygen. Not only silicon and oxygen, it also has olivine and pyroxene, iron, and nickel. So, that is the difference between comet and asteroid in terms of their chemical composition. Kung ano yung bumubuo sa kanila. Then, let us go with the orbit. When we say orbit is where the comet and the asteroid revolves around. Okay? Kung saan sila gumagalaw, kung saan sila umiikot. Now, yung orbit ng comet is highly elliptical. When we say elliptical, we are dealing with the shape of an oblong, okay? And when we say asteroid, for the asteroid, the orbit of an asteroid is more rounded or rounded in shape, okay? When we say elliptical, it could be in the shape of an oblong, and when we say more rounded, a little bit just like a circle, okay? And then, orbital periods. When we say orbital period, the number of hours or days or years to which that comet or asteroid revolves around to another astronomical object. Let's say, for example, around the sun, okay, or around another planet. So, orbital or period or years to which an comet orbits around another material is about 75 to 100,000 plus in years. Meaning to say, mas matagal ang ikot ni comet kaysa kay asteroid. Tingnan si asteroid. So, we have asteroid. So, the asteroid is about 1 to 100 years only. In comparison with comet has to revolve around 75 to 1,000 years. Okay? Para siya ay makakompleto ng isang orbit o isang revolution around sa isang, let's say for example, around the sun or around another planet. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, let us have the similarities of comets and asteroids. So, a while ago, I have given you the characteristics of the two. In terms of characteristics, their origin, their shapes, their orbit, their orbital periods. But now, I'll be going to give you their similarities. So, what is the similarities of the two? So, both of them orbit the sun. Okay, when we say orbit, they can go around the sun. Just like the Earth is revolving around the sun. That is why we call it as the solar system, because our planet Earth can orbit around its axis and also revolve or rotate on its axis or revolve around the sun. Okay? Now, aside from those main similarities, is that comets and asteroids have irregular shapes and sizes. They do not represent a single shape, meaning to say it could be elliptical, it could be rounded, it could be irregular in shape and size. And then, another similarity is that they both reflect light. They can reflect light. When we say reflect light, they can absorb the light coming from another source. Let's say, for example, when a comet orbits around the sun, that comet could absorb what? Absorb the light coming from that sun. Okay? That is why when it lands into another planet, let's say, for example, in the planet Earth, the planet Earth would somehow see, wow, that comet is shiny, shimmering. Okay? As well as the asteroid. Okay? And possibly because of the composition of the comet and the asteroid, because of their composition, they could somehow see, oh, because of the composition or the chemical composition of the asteroid and our comet, I could see that it is reflecting light. And then, another thing, it contains silicate. So, a while ago, I have said that they contain silicates, meaning to say, this one are the responsible for the reflection of light. Okay, let's proceed. So, okay, let me have this. So, comets. So they came from the Oort cloud. So, in this presentation, you can see that this one is the illustration of a comet falling or revolving around the sun. So, the comet or comets, they can come from the Oort cloud. So, Oort cloud is far beyond our solar system. So, it is outside our solar system. And other comets can come from the Kuiper belt, which is beyond Neptune's orbit. So, we have two types of comets. First, we have the long periods, which came from the Oort cloud. And then, the other one is the short period, which comes from the Kuiper belt. When we say long period, meaning they have long tails. And when we say short period, they have a shorter tail. Okay, let's proceed. So, this one is the location of the comets and asteroids in our solar system. So, some of them could possibly come from the Oort cloud. Some of them come from the Kuiper belt. So, as you can see, for a comet to be said as a long-tailed comet or long-period comet, it should came or originate from the Oort cloud. This one is the Oort cloud. It is beyond our solar system. So, this one is the solar system. And then, the layer outside the solar system is known as the Oort cloud. And then, when you go here, this one is the Kuiper belt where comets known as the short period ones originate. Dito nanggagaling yung mga maikli ang buntot at yung mga mahahaba ay dito sa labas. Kasi nga, nakadepende yon sa distansya nila in light years, yung pagdaloy o pagpunta ng comet doon sa ating planeta or pag-revolve around the sun. Next, for the asteroids. So, asteroids, as what I have said a while ago in the discussion, main asteroid belt ang pinagmumulan nila. They came from the main asteroid belt which is between Mars and Jupiter. This one is the main asteroid belt na kung saan it is theorized by scientists na ito ay mga hindi nabuong planeta. Okay? Yung mga rocky fragments dyan ay mga hindi nabuong planeta. Pero, what happened is that they accumulate as an asteroid belt kasi they are being attracted by the gravity of the planet Mars and Jupiter. Okay? Let's proceed. So, let me give you this first seat word. So, I am going to read the instruction. You are going to tell me your answer by saying if the statement is true, kindly tell me true. If it is false, you say false. Okay, first one. A comet is a ball of mostly ice that moves around in the outer space. Again, I repeat. A comet is a ball of mostly ice that moves around in the around in the outer space. Is it true or false? If you know the answer, kindly have that in your notes. Then, for the second one, comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. Comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. Then, number 3, comets can come back into view from time to time. Comets can come back into view from time to time. Then, number 4, comets are same with meteors. Are they the same with meteors? And then, for number 5, asteroids orbit the sun. Again, asteroids orbit the sun. Okay, let's see if your answers are correct. Okay, so answers are given above each statement, as you can see. For number 1, a comet is a ball of mostly ice that moves around in the outer space. Number 1 is true. If your answer is true, then you are correct. Number 2, comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. That is true also. Number 3, comets can come back into view from time to time. That is false. They cannot come back from time to time. So, it is because, as what we have said earlier, comets can come back after 75 to 100,000 years. Okay? And then for number 4, comets are same with meteors. The answer is false. They are not the same. And for number 5, asteroids orbit the sun. Correct. They can orbit the sun. Then, let's proceed. So, for the next one, we have the comet Halley. So, another near-Earth objects or NEO. So, comet Halley is one of the famous comet that has been recorded during the existence of the Earth. Why, ma'am? It is known because it is a short period one, meaning to say it came from the Kuiper belt. Okay. And as said here, it takes 75 to 79 years for it to orbit the sun. Okay, imagine that, 75 to 79 years. If you were able to see it, you are very lucky. So, comets are usually dark and invisible. So, but ma'am, why does it have to reflect if it is dark and invisible? Because, as what I have said, the chemical composition of comet as frozen ice or it has a presence of carbon, and as it orbits around the sun, it can reflect the light. Okay? So, when the comet is near the sun, it becomes visible because tails are formed. Okay? As you can see in this image, this one is the tail. So, when a comet is approaching the sun, its ion tail is behind it, but when it is moving away from the sun, the ion tail goes ahead of it. Oh, so meaning to say, when it is nearing the sun, you can see the tail. And when it's moving away from the sun, that tail becomes its head. Okay. And Halley's Comet will next appear in the night sky in the year 2062. So, it is far from 2021, very far. And it was recorded by Edmund Halley in 1682. So, that is why it was named Halley's Comet or Comet Halley. And it was seen again in 1758, 1835, 1910, and 1986. Let's proceed. So, next term would be the asteroids. So, a while ago, I have said that asteroids are irregular rocky fragments or rocky bodies that originate from where? From the main asteroid belt between the Mars and Jupiter. Kindly remember that. So, as what I have said from the previous slides, this belt is theorized by scientists as the remnants of planets that did not form during the formation of the solar system. And this orbit or the orbit of an asteroid is more rounded. Okay? More rounded than the comet. So, one of the asteroids that we have seen is the asteroid 2012 DA14. Okay. Next. Okay. So, asteroid 2012 DA14, another NEO or near-Earth object. So, how do we measure the distance of one planet to another planet or from one star to another star? So, we can measure distance of those planetary objects or objects in our outer space in terms of light years. Okay, light years, remember that. And during the arrival of the asteroid 2012 DA14, so the distance it covers is all about or was just about 0.4 light years away from the Earth. So it means it's very, very near. So it is the closest distance that that any asteroid can ever been recorded in the history of the Earth. So in December 2012, during the midst of the Doomsday Prophecy, so during that time, December 21, 2012, many people predicted or prophesied that the doomsday is near. So we should repent, the doomsday is very near, and we should ask God for His forgiveness. But then, here we are, 2021. So no one can ever predict when would be that day. Okay, no one, even scientists, no one could ever predict that. So asteroid Toutatis, I repeat, Toutatis, also made a near approach to Earth but not as close to as asteroid 2012 DA14. So another asteroid almost got near to our Earth but not as close as asteroid 2012 DA14. And let's proceed for the next term. We have here meteor. So meteor. So you have been familiar with the word meteor because of meteor garden or the meteor shower. So, ma'am, how do we classify a meteor? So before it became a meteor, a meteoroid, it will be termed as meteoroid. Ma'am, why meteoroid? So meteoroid is a small rock or particle debris in the solar system, just like an asteroid or a comet. And it can range from 10 meters in diameter. So it is relatively small than of comet and an asteroid. And when a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, it will turn into a meteor. Okay, I repeat, meteoroid, when it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it would become a meteor or what we call the shooting star. Okay, a shooting star. Then when that meteoroid or that meteor survived falling through the Earth's atmosphere and it landed on the Earth's surface or the Earth's land, it will be known as meteorite. Okay. And approximately 500 meteorites reach the Earth's surface every year. But those only around 5 ever make it to the scientists for study because some of them were being stolen by the people to where that meteoroid or that meteorite landed. So, ninanakaw kasi yun, ninanakaw ng ibang mga unang nakaka-discover bago pa yung mga scientists. Kaya hindi minsan napapag-aralan. And ating atmosphere experiences millions of meteors every day. So, when there is many meteors present in our sky, therefore, there is what we call the meteor shower. Okay. Now, what do we have? What is the biggest meteorite ever been recorded by NASA? Okay. Before we proceed with that, so let us have this one. So, the Hoba meteorite, another near-Earth object or NEO, meteoroid, a small fragment in the solar system. So remember that. So meteoroid first, then followed by the meteor. When that meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, it will become a meteor. And then When it landed in our land or in our Earth's surface, it will be called as a meteor, right? Okay. So this one is the illustration or how each of them is being identified. So this one is the Halley's Comet. And then it is followed by the asteroid 2012 D14. This is somehow the greatest image of that asteroid. And then the Hoba meteorite. As you can see, the Hoba meteorite is very enormous or enormous in size. It's very big. So actually, this one is about 50 tons or about 500 men in equivalent. So 50 tons siya. And then, ang equivalent ng 50 tons na yon is about 500 men in capacity. Yung bigat niya, napakabigat niya. Okay? So, let me try to present this one to you. Let's see if it will work. Okay, let's proceed. So, this video will be presented in our Google Classroom. Thank you. So, for seat work number 2, before we end this lesson, I will be explaining what this seat work number 2 is all about. So, first, complete the following table and answer the questions below. So, in this table, you are going to describe the characteristic, at least one characteristic of a comet, an asteroid, and a meteoroid. And then, you are going to give me to which location they originate. They could either be from the asteroid belt, Kuiper belt, or Earth cloud, or from the outer space. And then, the type of movement they have. Okay? And then, you are going to explain what happens to a meteoroid in order for it to become a meteoroid. You are going to explain the process. And then, for number 2, how can you distinguish asteroids from a comet? So, what is the difference of an asteroid to a comet? Okay. Let us proceed. So, this one is the continuation of seat work number 2. So, from the list below, choose the term that best complete each sentence. You are going to identify or write the correct answer from the table giving the following terms: asteroid, meteor, asteroid belt, meteoroid, comet, and meteorite. Kindly fill up the missing terms for each number from number 3 until number 8. Then, for seat work number 3, this is quite easy, I guess, if you understood our discussion for this recorded video. You are going to write down from this table. You are going to get the terms, your answers from this table, and write them down to each of the circles in the Venn diagram. As you can see here on the left side, we have the comets, and the right side, the asteroid. You are going to write the characteristic of the comets here, characteristic of the asteroids here, and their similarity. In the middle, you can see that they are somehow overlapping to each other. When we say overlapping, they are somehow similar. So, the difference for the comet here, the difference of the asteroid here, and for the, what we call this, the similarities, you write them down on the middle part. Then, for seat work number 4, you are going to write at least one characteristics for each given word. Example, meteor. What is the characteristic of a meteor? Characteristic of a meteorite, elliptical orbit, asteroid, meteors, and comets. Okay? And then, seat work number 5. For seat work number 5, you are going to put a check mark. Check mark if the description match the terms asteroids, comets, and meteors. So, you are just going to put a check mark here if you see that the description, rather, or the characteristics describes an asteroid, a comet, or a meteor. Okay? Okay. And let us conclude our class for today. So, comets, remember, they are icy bodies, elliptical. They can originate from the Kuiper belt, from the Oort cloud. Asteroids, they are rocky fragments. They are rounded in orbit. And they came from the asteroid belt or the main asteroid belt between the Jupiter and Mars. And then for the meteorite, they are known as the shooting stars. So before they can become shooting stars or meteorite, they enter the process of being a meteoroid, a meteor, and then meteorite. Okay, I hope you understood our discussion for today. And that would be all. Thank you for attending our class. See you next week. God bless.